function. In the previous lecture we have done functions in C language. There we have recursion. Recursion is a special case in which a function calls itself. Call itself करेगा. For example, factorial of a number n can be computed as in the following program. I am Dr. Ashok Kumar Saini, Associate Professor in Mathematics. Today in BLJS College Tosham. Today I will give lecture on recursion. Function in C. There is term recursion. In Mathematics paper 3rd, Programming C and Numerical Methods. Then recursion is a special case in which a function calls itself. For example, factorial of a number n can be computed as in the following program. Program to find factorial of a number using recursion. Include standard input-output.h, include conio.h, double factorial, double, ये फंक्शन डिफाइन है फैक्टोरियल, आर्गुमेंट इंट n, ठीक, डबल, ये क्या है, इंट डबल चाहिए हमें, फ्लॉट नहीं चाहिए, इंट नहीं चाहिए, डबल का मतलब ज़्यादा एक्यूरेसी चाहिए. ब्रेसिस स्टार्ट, डबल फैक्ट, एक वेरिएबल इसने डिफाइन किया फैक्ट, फैक्टोरियल से फैक्ट, सेमीकोलन. इफ n इक्वल टू 0, escape कंडीशन, ठीक, रिटर्न 1, एल्ज फैक्ट बराबर है n स्टार फैक्टोरियल n-1, f स्टार रिकर्सिव कॉल, रिटर्न फैक्ट, सेमीकोलन, void main, int num, double fact, if else, if n equal to 0, return 1, else factorial equal n star factorial n-1, star recursive call, return फैक्ट, रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट आएगी, ठीक, वॉइड नहीं है, वॉइड फैक्ट लिख दिया इसमें, डबल फैक्ट, ये ब्रेसेस बंद, ये इसने फंक्शन डिफाइन किया वॉइड मेन. अब ये मेन फंक्शन है इंट नम डबल फैक्ट, ठीक, क्लियर स्क्रीन, सेमीकोलन, प्रिंट एफ, स्कैन एफ, प्रिंट एफ एंटर ए नंबर, कॉलन, एक स्पेस छोड़ दिया, डबल कोट्स, सेमीकोलन, स्कैन एफ, परसेंटेज डी, कॉमा एंड नंबर, फैक्ट इसने कैसे यहाँ डिफाइन किया, फैक्टोरियल ब्रैकेट नम, NUM फैक्टोरियल था ना ये, bracket printf the factorial of percentage d is percentage d का मतलब integer type percentage f the factorial of percentage d is percentage f फॉर्मेट है इन्वर्टेड कॉमा 1 कॉमा नम क्या है परसेंटेज डी है इज फैक्ट क्या है परसेंटेज एफ है सेमीकोलन क्लोज्ड गेट करेक्टर ब्रैकेट बंद। तो ये आउटपुट क्या है ये आउटपुट एंट्री नंबर 4 द फैक्टोरियल ऑफ 4 इज 24.000000 entry number 4 the factorial of 4 is 24.00000 let us see how recursion works. A sequence of operations can be summarized as follows. For a number 4 factorial bracket 4 let us see how recursion works. This sequence of operations can be summarized as follows. For a number 4 ठीक है फैक्ट इक्वल टू फैक्टोरियल 4 है तो 4 मल्टीप्लाई बाई फैक्टोरियल 3 4 मल्टीप्लाई 3 मल्टीप्लाई फैक्टोरियल 2 4 मल्टीप्लाई 3 मल्टीप्लाई 2 फैक्टोरियल 1 4 3 2 1 factorial 0 1 24. Recursive functions can be effectively used to solve problems where solution bracket function can be expressed in terms of applying the same action function successively to subsets of the problem. In recursion, each time the function calls itself but with a different argument till an escape condition is encountered. In a recursive function, we must have an escape condition, usually in the form of an if statement that forces the function to return without any further recursive call. Only this can terminate the recursive loop, otherwise the functions will never return. The recursive functions can be effectively used to solve problems. Recursive functions can be effectively used to solve problems where solution bracket function can be expressed in terms of applying the same action bracket function successively to subsets of the problem. In recursion, each time the function calls itself but with a different argument. यहाँ क्लियर करें इन रिकर्सन ईच टाइम द फंक्शन कॉल्स फंक्शन हर एक बार कॉल होगा इन रिकर्सन ईच टाइम द फंक्शन कॉल्स itself but with a different argument till an escape condition is encountered. In a recursive function, we must have an escape condition, usually in the form of an if statement that forces the function to return without any further recursive call. Only this can terminate the recursive loop, otherwise the function will never return, and it enters into an infinite loop. क्या कहता है ये? एक मिनट. Recursive functions can be effectively used to follow problems where solution function can be expressed in terms of applying the same action bracket function successively to subsets of the problem. In recursion, each time the function calls itself but with a different argument till an escape condition is encountered. In a recursive function, we must have an escape condition, usually in the form of an if statement that forces the function to return without any further recursive call. Only this can terminate the recursive loop. Only this can terminate the recursive loop, otherwise the function will never return escape but with a different argument till an escape condition is encountered. In a recursive function, we must have an escape condition. Escape लिकड़ना भी बार है in the form of an if statement that forces the function to return without any further recursive call. Only this can terminate the recursive loop, otherwise the function will never return नहीं होगा, and it enters into an infinite loop, और infinite loop में चले जाएगा. Example of an infinite loop include standard input output .h, void main, printf, new line character. This is an example of infinite loop recursion. Example of infinite loop include standard input output .h, void main, printf, new line. This is an example of infinite loop recursion. Main bracket remember. Polling is a program that generates n terms of the Fibonacci series using recursion. Polling is a program that generates n terms of the Fibonacci series using recursion है. अच्छा, program to generate first n Fibonacci terms using recursion include standard input output.h, include conio.h, long int Fibonacci, ये डिफाइन किया इसने long int fiv, और आर्गुमेंट में int n लिख दिया. इफ़ n वहाँ 0 से था, n फैक्टोरियल में यहाँ 1 से है. इफ़ n स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम इक्वल 1, रिटर्न 0 रिटर्न होगा. इफ़ n इक्वल टू 2, रिटर्न 1. एल्स इफ़ कंडीशन लगाई, रिटर्न Fibonacci n-1 प्लस Fibonacci n-2 सेमीकोलन ब्रेसेस क्लोज. void main, ये मेन प्रोग्राम है. int n, i क्लियर स्क्रीन, printf, new line character, enter the number of Fibonacci terms, colon space semicolon. scanf, percentage d and n, printf, the percentage d Fibonacci terms are u9, n. or I equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus, or I equal 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. Printf percentage d tab keep bracket I sample get character output. Enter the number of Fibonacci terms. Thus, the 10 Fibonacci terms are 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 0, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Enter the number of Fibonacci terms. Thus, the 10 Fibonacci terms are 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. पहला 0 आया है, 10 फिबोनाची नंबर 10 लिख दिया ना, 0 जमा 1 1 आ गया, 1 जमा 1 2 आ गया, 1 जमा 2 3 आ गया, 2 जमा 3 5 आ गया, 3 जमा 5 8 आ गया, 5 जमा 8 13 आ गया, 13 8 जमा 13 21 आ गया, 13 जमा 21 34 आ गया। इस तरह से, ठीक। तो दिस इज ए फंक्शन है। नाउ द सी प्रीप्रोसेसर, नेक्स्ट टॉपिक वी विल डू द सी प्रीप्रोसेसर। तो इससे पहले हम इफ़ एंड एल्स स्टेटमेंट का वो करेंगे। फंक्शन हो गया, लूप हो गया, ठीक। डिसीजन कंट्रोल स्ट्रक्चर्स, इसको करेंगे। दिस इज द बेसिक। डिसीजन कंट्रोल स्ट्रक्चर्स, ये इम्पोर्टेंट। if else law, if else decision control structures, the introduction, the program we have encountered so far mainly comprise of the instructions executed in the same order in which they appear within the program. These statements are executed once and only once and do not include any conditional testing. क्या कहता है? The programs we have encountered so far mainly comprise of the instructions executed in the same order in which they appear within the program. These statements are executed once, एक बार execute होते हैं, and only once, and do not include any conditional testing. Conditional testing नहीं होती. They do not require repeated execution. Repeated execution नहीं होता of group of statements, but practically most programs need such features in the program. For example, many programs need to execute some particular statements if and only if a particular condition is true. This is called conditional execution of the program. This is called conditional execution of the program. Similarly, in many cases, we need to select only one group of statements from several group of instructions, or we used to perform selection. Many programs need a group of instructions to be repeated either until and unless some condition is satisfied or for a predetermined number of times. It is known as looping or iteration. These are all cases of making decisions. The decision making constructs in C language are easy to use, but they enable the compiler to make some very sophisticated decisions. Structure variable pair, looping and decision control स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं. स्ट्रक्चर्ड लैंग्वेज क्या होती है, पहले तो ये डिफाइन करता है. द लैंग्वेज वेयर प्रोग्राम्स कंसिस्ट्स ऑफ ब्लॉक ऑफ स्टेटमेंट्स. अगर ब्लॉक ऑफ स्टेटमेंट्स का प्रोग्राम बना हुआ है एंड द प्रोग्राम फ्लो इज determined by sequence, selection or iteration of statements are known as structured language. पहले structured language होती क्या है? The language where programs consist of blocks of statements and program flow is determined by sequence या selection or iteration of statements are known as structured language, such as C, Fortran, Pascal. Control structures in a programming language provide the basic framework within which operations and data are combined into programs and set of programs. It involves the aspect of controlling the order of the execution of the operations known as sequence control. Most programming language provides a set of control statements or constructs express different forms of sequence like looping, conditional execution or selection. Before starting with the control statement in C, let us first take a general overview of control structures. कंट्रोल स्ट्रक्चर्स का ओवरव्यू लेंगे. तो एंट्री इंस्ट्रक्शन 1, इंस्ट्रक्शन 2, इंस्ट्रक्शन 3, इंस्ट्रक्शन एंड स्टॉप. इलिस्ट्रेटिंग प्रोग्राम हैविंग सीक्वेंस ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं, ये फ्लो चार्ट है. इलिस्ट्रेटिंग प्रोग्राम हैविंग सीक्वेंस ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस. एंट्री, स्टॉप, instruction 1, instruction 2, instruction 3, instruction n. The control structure are of three types: sequence, selection, branching, iteration, looping. Sequence, it is the simplest control construct in a program. Sequence क्या होता है? It is the simplest control construct in a program. Simplest control construct in a program. The program is divided into a set of instructions. The program is divided into a set of instructions where each instruction has a specified task. The program is divided into a set of instructions where each instruction has a specified task. The control passes sequentially from one instruction to another instruction. At the start, the first instruction is executed, then the second, and then the subsequent. Some resulting subsequent ones resulting in a linear straight line flow of control. Selection. This is the Illustrate program having branching or selecting a particular group of instruction. एंट्री कंडीशन लगा देंगे, ब्रांचिंग कंडीशन, ब्रांच बन जाएगी, यस नो। ब्रांच 1 इंस्ट्रक्शन इंस्ट्रक्शन इंस्ट्रक्शन, सीक्वेंस ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन। ब्रांच 2 इंस्ट्रक्शन इंस्ट्रक्शन स्टॉप। सिलेक्शन पहला है सीक्वेंस, फिर सिलेक्शन। इन सिलेक्शन ए पर्टिकुलर group of statements is selected from several group of instructions. In selection a particular group of statements is selected from several group of instructions depending upon the outcome of the selection condition or branching condition. These groups of statement are called branches. A group of statements are called branches. At a time only one of the branches is selected and the control then passes to that branch. Instructions in that branch are then executed sequentially. This is called condition execution or branching of the program. In selection, a particular group of statements is selected from several group of instructions depending upon the outcome of the selection condition or branching condition. In selection, a particular group of statements is selected from several group of instructions depending upon the outcome of the selection condition or branching condition. These group of statements are called branches. At a time only one of the branches is selected and the control then passes to that branch. Instructions in that branch are then executed sequentially. This is called condition execution or branching of the program. Iteration, repetition of a group of instructions is called iteration. Repetition of a group of instructions. Sometimes it is required that we repeat a group of instructions again and again depending upon the outcome of an iteration condition. If the outcomes of the condition is true, then the control shifts back to the first instruction of the group and all the instructions are repeated again. This is known as looping. तीन चीज़ होगी, iteration, looping, selection and sequence. By using these three simple control structures we can easily solve any problem. So this is the flow chart: entry, instruction, sequence of instruction, 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 looping condition, yes, वापस चला गया, ये आ गया, no, stop. Illustrating program having loops. By using these three simple control structures we can easily solve any problem, however complex it may be. These constructs along with their variations form the backbone of this structured programming. In this chapter we will discuss several selection constructs provided by the C language and their applications in programs. The if statement. C allows decisions to be made by evaluating a given expression as true or false. Such an expression involves the use of relational and logical operators. Depending on the outcome of the decision, the program executes in one of the two directions. construct that. Thank you. This will do in the next lecture. Thank you. Thanks. You can view this lecture on YouTube channel, college YouTube channel, www.bljscollege.com. Thank you. We will meet in the next lecture. If there is any problem or difficulty, you can ask me. Thanks.